I had a pretty huge setback with this season, so more on the inside. I had the whole season funded. I had everything going good. I had travel plans, new equipment, the whole nine, and it's gone. I'm not going to get into the details, but there's no money. So I'm stuck. I have to hit the drawing board again. I'm not one to let adversity stop me, so we're going to go with what I got. Unfortunately, it's nothing. I have nothing. So I'm going to do the best I can. And this caused a huge bout of depression. And I go 0 to 60 on this stuff. So, I mean, it's like one day I'm fantastic, everything's going on, I have all this money coming, and next thing you know, I'm straight up suicidal. I've struggled with depression for my whole life, and I've earned that right, as you may have seen in last week's video, linked up here. Luckily, I have a secret weapon for when a fit of depression hits me and it's looking like it's going to go terminal. So I figure if my aim is to help people, then I should share that weapon with you. This was an assignment for one of my college writing classes. The assignment was write instructions for anything. So I'll read for you now How to Be Depressed by Dan Newman. There's a link to the full text in the description below. When I get depressed and everything's bad, I read this and it makes me remember how stupid depression really is. And that gets me out of it. To get a good vicious funk going, the first thing you need to do is convince yourself no one on earth likes you. This is the foundation because it lets you know that you're trapped in a world that doesn't want you, so you start to form your tight little comfort bubble. Your own tiny world where you are the king but no one will serve you. The thing is, the reason no one will serve you is because you wouldn't dare ask for anything. Because no one likes you, remember? Now, create your own scenarios and look for clues in real life to support them. This is easiest if you were in a relationship. Your significant other couldn't possibly like you because who could really look past all the bad and find the one kernel of good which even you can't find because it's so small. So try to figure out who he or she is talking to on the phone, but don't bother to ask who it is. Assume you will be caught if you try to snoop in their cell phone and instead sit back and speculate. And if you are lucky enough to have occasional mercy sex, concentrate on your partner thinking about someone else so hard that you feel nothing but angst about the whole encounter. In fact, don't even finish because in the end, it doesn't really matter, now does it? If you're not in a relationship, consider pretending people you would like to be with are plotting against you. Hell, do this either way, but especially if you're single. Tell yourself it's better to be single because there's no one there to watch you fail and remind you of it. In public, look for clues that people are being disgusted by you. The way that girl briefly looked at you must be bad because she still isn't looking at you, right? And the way that crowd totally ignored you must mean they can't stand to see such ugliness. But don't let it sink in that they aren't looking at anyone else either. These tasks are easy and fulfilling, but you should try to look down as much as possible when not at home. If this funk is a good one and you manage to keep the happy away for a while, your instincts will be so sharp you won't even have to look at anyone to see them detesting you. Just keep your head down and feel the hate and loathing splash from every direction. Also, if you walk fast, you can get home quicker to sulk. These skills, when well executed, can be so effective you'll be crying in a dirty bathroom stall in no time, curled up in the fetal position on the toilet begging God to take your worthless life right now because you can't stand sucking this bad anymore. It's invigorating, you'll see. After a good wet cry like that, one where you're nothing but a helpless blubbering mess wailing from the pain of your inner turmoil, you're rewarded with a brief but sweet feeling of euphoric niceness and everything is perfect and it all kind of glows. But this doesn't last more than a while, and you're right back where you started, thinking about ways people are plotting to get you out of their lives. They are, to be sure, and some of them form groups to gang up on you, and then they network until they are all on the other side, and then you'll have no opportunities at all since you won't be able to leave nor live here. You'll want to stay home a lot and be alone as much as possible. Watch tragedies on television, but don't read. Finishing an entire book can bring on a sense of accomplishment. Keep the curtains closed unless it's raining, and try to only go out late at night when the drunks are at Walmart and think about how they're going to have sex tonight and you aren't. That means they're better than you loser. And the most important rule of all is never, by any means, figure out that none of this is real. The pin in the hand grenade is this one fact. Once you figure out that you've wasted your life manufacturing fantasy because you don't want to deal with old wounds, it will all go away. You'll notice the sun and the flowers. The rain is still good, but in a different way. Children playing outside will no longer be a nuisance. You might even think they look like fun and start to want to have one of your own. You could find a significant other, one who you like and who likes you. And you might go on to live a normal life with that person, or maybe several others while looking for Mr. or Mrs. Right. And then you'll have a life like they have, just like everyone else, normal. And in time, unless you're careful, you'll see that no one really hates you. That piece usually does the trick. It's designed to take all the points that you have to do to create this world that allows you to be depressed and think you're worthless, and it makes fun of all of them. And as always, it works like a charm. So what it does is it undermines everything about depression, and it brings me back to normalcy. And also, I can't say it's not legitimate because it was published. So I hope you enjoyed my story. Don't worry, I'll make new plans for this season, and I'll still keep it entertaining. I feel that this season so far, I've brought a kind of content that isn't really available on YouTube because I've been very experimental, but I've kept within the bounds of what I've done previously. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week.